To begin day B, get on all fours for some classic cats and cows. Try to synchronize your movements with your inhales and exhales. It doesn't really matter in which direction you inhale and in which you exhale, because you can actually experiment with both. Just do what feels right for you. Finish up and get ready for some spinal rotations. This one you can do with or without a slider. With the slider it's just a little bit more simple to thread through. Here I want you to inhale as you reach the hand up to the ceiling and exhale as you twist under. On the next repetition, stay under, put your head on the floor, and then reach your other arm up and behind you to deepen the twist and get the stretch into your chest as well. Now slowly release the stretch and prepare for the other side. With your inhales you reach up, and with the exhales you twist under. It's time for your last rep. You twist under, put your head on the floor, reach the other arm up and behind you. Breathe deeply into your chest. Release the stretch, slowly get up to standing position and make sure that your step or chair is ready for you. Ideally the surface would be a bit lower, so if you have a stepper that's amazing, but a chair will do the job as well. Now start doing lunges with your front foot elevated, trying to bend the knee as deep as you feel alright, and trying to push your pubic bone up and forward towards your chin. So each lunge will give you a deep hip flexor stretch as well. Perform one more repetition, and then it's time to change sides. And only one more repetition on this leg as well. And next up, it's time to get on all fours on the floor again. With one leg, you perform half circles from back to front and front to back, while both arms and shoulders are pushing into the floor strongly, and you're trying to avoid shifting around as much as you can. Finish your last repetition, and it's time to switch sides. Time to finish up your second leg. And then you'll be moving on into a downward facing dog. Go back to the first leg, and now you basically do the same exercise that you just did before, but with a straight leg and being in a downward facing dog. If this is too difficult for you, just do a second round of the exercise on all fours that we just did. Finish up your last repetition and then switch sides. I'm showing you a different perspective here so that you can see that while I allow my pelvis to tip to the side to open wider, my shoulders are trying to stay on the same level. So imagine your armpits staying on one line in comparison to the floor or yoga mat. It's very, very difficult, but just fight for it. It will help you build overhead stability. And also your hip muscles have to work harder compared to the quadruped position here because there's a longer lever from the straight leg. Finish your last repetition, but stay in a downward facing dog for the next exercise. I'm just flipping around for you to be able to see the shoulders better. A lot of the times you see people inwardly rotating their shoulders, their scapula sliding together towards their spine, maybe even their elbows are bent. But for this exercise, I want you to really focus on separating the shoulder blades, externally rotating your shoulders, squeezing your upper arms to keep the elbows straight, and only then move into lifting one arm off for a few seconds. Switch to lifting off the other arm for a few seconds. Put it back, and the first arm lifts off again. Hold it. Hold it, hold it, put it back, reset your shoulders in between, and second arm lifts off. Hold it, hold it, hold it, put it back. Lift the first arm off for the last round, hold it, put it back, and lift the second arm off for the last round. Hold it, put it back. And then from here, lay onto your belly for a cobra sequence. First part is putting your hands into the ground, pushing up into the cobra as high as you can, and slowly releasing. Throughout these push-ups, you try to use your back muscles actively to lift you and use the help of your hands as little as needed. Only one more slow and controlled repetition of these cobras, and then head down, legs together, and start lifting the straight legs up to the ceiling as high as you can. So you really go for pulses. You can use your hamstrings, your butt, and also your lower back. Yes, your lower back is allowed to help with this movement. You want to strengthen your whole backside. Now open your legs a little bit wider than your mat and repeat the same pulses in this wider position. Finish your pulses, and now you grab your soft yoga blocks or a sturdy bolster, and you want to place it underneath your hip bones. You might need a little bit of trial and error to figure out where exactly you need to place the yoga blocks or bolster, but once you have it figured out, you just want to lift up with your back muscles, open your chest, head pulling tall, lower abs sucking in, and maybe even your arms pull back so you can hold this isometric flying cobra here. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Come up slowly to standing for the next exercise. Standing more than a leg length away from the wall, put one foot up to the wall, push into your hip flexors, lift from your tummy, and then slowly arch back. There should be zero pain in your back when you do this. And now pull yourself back up to an upright position and change sides. Don't worry, I will be showing a beginner modification after this leg. So again, lift yourself from your tummy, arch back slowly, stay in control, push into your hip flexor, and then you pull back to standing. For the beginner modification, you stand with your back to the wall, the feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart, you're pretty close to the wall as well, and then you just reach up, try to touch the wall with your fingertips, and come back forward again. You can play with how far away from the wall you are, but the idea is that you don't fall back to the wall into your hands, you literally just touch the fingertips and don't rest on the wall. For those of you who do the advanced version, go into your first leg again. Beginners just keep on playing with the baby drop back to the wall. Pulling back up to standing, switching legs if you're doing the advanced version. Second round on the second leg. And pull back to standing. There will be a third round now, so go back to your first leg. And for the beginners, take a quick breather because there will be bridges coming up soon. Advanced version, pull back to standing now and do the last round on your second leg. Pull back to standing, and you did it. And you already heard next up are bridges. So you have to get onto the floor, lay on your back, and put your feet up close to your hips, about hip width apart. First up, I show you the beginner version. If you have never done bridges before, I just want you to stick with that. So you interlace your fingers, push your chest up towards your chin, and push your hips up towards the ceiling, and breathe here. If you know how to do bridges, you can just press up, go into your first bridge, and try to squeeze your elbows together. Try to hide your armpits by wrapping your shoulder blades around. Personally, I'm usually super stiff on my first bridge, so just adjust to how you are feeling. Don't go too hard on your first round. And then you tip the head back down, walk in a little bit, and try to tighten it on the second bridge. If you're a beginner, just take breaks in between your half bridges. One more breath and then touch it down onto your head again. Walk in and push back up for an even tighter last bridge. What I usually do is that I stay on my tippy toes and push back, and then once my back has opened a little bit of space, I place my heels down. And slowly release out of that last bridge. And now again, beginners and also the ones who did the bridge, pull your knees into your chest, hug them tightly, wiggle a little bit from side to side, or you could even do some circles on your lower back in this nice position. Now slowly roll up, and the first counter stretch that we do is a deep squat. So wiggle around a little bit and then round your back. Put your heels down if you can. If not, you can elevate them on some objects. Dangle your arms down and breathe deeply into your rounded spine. It's super nice and also important to do counter stretching after back bending. You just want to allow your back body to receive some more space again. And also front bending activates the parasympathetic part of your nervous system, which helps you relax and recover. When you're done with your squat, you come to a standing position and just dangle into a forward fold, holding your elbows. Compared to the forward fold from day A, here you're not really trying to pull yourself deeper. It's literally just about relaxing. Breathe deeply and chill out. Finish your last deep breath, and then you slowly roll up to standing, and you're done with day B.